New Orleans after Katrina was just it was an amazing test of the human spirit. Volunteer.
Do you want this or the bigger one?
Yes.
Mark Fiore, got one for you too.
You gotta take a picture of this shirt. My mom hasn't seen me in white in years.
This is the first day that we're here. We're in New Orleans with friends and helpers. Just got to the warehouse facility. Half the group has already been here for a few days, and they basically received and organized a lot of stuff from companies that have been donated for the back-to-school programs here in the city. Companies like Echo and DC, Major League Baseball, Band Merch, BioWorld, these companies donated back-to-school supplies and like sports supplies and things like that for the students here in New Orleans. The schools are reopening this week, and they actually are lacking a lot of supplies, like things from copiers to paper, pencils, to instruments for their band classes and sports equipment. So we're trying to help out and give them those things that they need.
Aren't you pigs? Let's get it moving! Quit your lollygagging back there and get some work done! Yeah, you! What are you looking at? Take that box, soldier!
You two tell me what today is, what we're doing.
Today is day 7 of a very long week. We're going to as many schools as we can. We're dropping off everywhere we can. We're going to the Recovery Center, and we're going to Common Ground. And all of our efforts is everything that we've got. We're getting it out today so that everybody gets to use it. And that's where we're going.
You.
Si su pueda. Yes, we can.
We need to hold up.
Ow.
God, dude. Thank God you're union. We're gonna have to take you off for the day. That fucking looked like it hurt. Dude, put that down.
My insurance is kicking in, I think.
I got the deductible. Let's get that shit rolling. I'll get this one.
And we count this one.
Hold on. Hold on underneath, and then we're just gonna.
Oh, we can put
Wait, is this box not full? This box is empty.
One of my best memories. It's actually a happy memory. It's kind of crazy and chaotic all day, and we're trying to get all these supplies to the kids that everybody had donated and get them there before the schools closed. And there was a butcher block paper on the side of this building that we were unloading a lot of the supplies from. And Mike took a second to draw a picture of me. It was kind of crazy. He comes over to me and he's kind of harassing me. I knew something was up, so I followed him over, but he was laughing. And he drew a picture of me. Underneath it, he'd written Scurvy, which was my pirate name for that weekend. And it was pretty classic. So we had just a kind of a funny laugh. And so it was kind of a nice moment in all the sadness. You know, it's kind of like funeral laughter. You just let it out and keep rolling. And it was just a time I remember in a lot of days of craziness and just it's an amazing test of people and seeing true Americans come together. It didn't matter what color. People were just helping each other because that's what needed to get done. And that was the best part about it, is that we were able to help people and get it done.
Take her away!
This is crazy. This is one of the houses, the barge that broke the levee is about 200 yards on the other side of us right now. And you can see this home was moved all the way right off its foundation, and there's parts of other homes from like 10 blocks away that have been washed into this house. Devastation's pretty hideous.
The harder part of this for us is when we come together and we talk about students that we lost, live people who died during the storm. One young man in particular, as I understand it, his name was Edward Sparks. He was a 4th grade student of mine, and now he was in the 7th or the 8th grade. And I was informed that he and his whole family drowned during the storm. So I asked the question, how could that happen? And the answer was, they probably had no way to get out. Him, his sister, his grandmother, and maybe another family member. And those kind of examples exemplify the loss that this city has taken, not only through the losing of its culture, but mainly the loss of its young people and its older people who seem to be the most impacted victims of this storm. But in spite of all this, we continue to have hope and the faith that this place, New Orleans, Louisiana, will rebuild better than it was before, because we're determined to see it happen that way.
One of the schools that you see here in the clips was the Martin Luther King School, and for some reason it just wasn't open like the other schools. It was down in the hardest hit area, the most devastated, the 9th ward, and just it wasn't open for some reason, and we kept kind of wondering why. And it seemed that in those schools every week these poor kids had to change schools, and in each of those schools they didn't know if they'd have teachers at those schools, and each of those schools they didn't know if they'd have a principal, and it just constantly moved. And this school was supposed to be open, the Martin Luther King School was supposed to be open, and we went down there to find out why, and it was just horrifying. It was like a movie set when you went down there. And I remember when Chester and I walked into this one room, and we were both like two hollow, burned out trees. It was just you walked into this room, and it was just it felt like death. It smelled like moldy decay, and it just felt like no one cared, and it was such an empty, hollow feeling. That's where I think I was touched the most, because at that point there's only so much, devastation you can take to where you just kind of feel it. And I think anything that has to do with children is immediately, it's like somebody beating a kitten or something. You just don't.